From her signature hairdo to her unique fashion sense, Marge has captured our hearts and become a beloved mother in the Simpsons universe. So join us as we check out 3 more classic episodes. Marge Simpson Edition. Number 3. Marge in Chains. An outbreak of the Osaka flu sweeps through Springfield after many residents purchase a juice loosener imported from Japan. This leads to many people becoming ill and bedridden, including the Simpsons family. Due to exhaustion from caring for her sick family, Marge forgets to pay for a bottle of bourbon while shopping at the Quickie Mart. Despite it being an honest mistake, Marge is treated as a hardened criminal and the town overreacts to her arrest. The Simpson family hires Lionel Hutz, an inept lawyer, to defend Marge at her trial. Helen Lovejoy spreads false rumors about Marge, implying that she is an alcoholic, and Professor Frank presents a conspiracy theory that Marge is involved in the assassination of JFK. Marge is sentenced to 30 days at Springfield's women's prison, where she makes friends with her cellmate Phillips and Tattoo Annie. Marge's absence is felt at home as Homer struggles to cope without her. However, Homer did have his fair share of fun. The Park Bake Sale, run by Helen Lovejoy and Maud Flanders, suffers badly as a result of Marge not being there to cook her famous marshmallow squares. The Springfield Park Commission fails to raise enough money to pay for a statue of Abraham Lincoln and are forced to purchase one of Jimmy Carter instead, which completely disgusts the townspeople. Seeing all of this unfold, a repentant Maud laments sadly that none of this would have happened if Marge had been there. The citizens demand the release of Marge as soon as possible. The people of Springfield cheerfully welcome her back and unveil a statue for her, which is actually the statue of President Carter with Marge's hairstyle on top. Overall, Marge in Chains is possibly one of my favorite Marge Simpsons episodes, and if you haven't seen this yet, you definitely need to watch it. Number 2. Itchy and Scratchy and Marge. In this episode, Homer attempts to build a spice rack for Marge, but Maggie hits him on the head with a mallet. Later on, Maggie tries to stab Homer with a pencil after watching an episode of the violent cartoon The Itchy and Scratchy Show. Marge blames the show for Maggie's behavior and bans Bart and Lisa from watching it. Despite the ban, Bart and Lisa still find a way to watch the show. Marge writes a letter to the producers asking them to tone down the violence, but Roger Myers Jr., who is the CEO of Itchy and Scratchy, dismisses her concerns. Marge decides to take action and show that one person can make a difference. Marge starts a group called Springfieldians for non-violence, understanding, and helping, and starts to protest outside the Itchy and Scratchy studios. Marge's protest gains momentum and more people join, eventually leading to protests at the Krusty the Clown show, which airs Itchy and Scratchy. Marge appears on Kent Brockman's show and urges concerned parents to send letters to Roger Myers Jr. The studio receives enough angry letters to prompt Myers to eliminate violence in the show. The first new non-violence episode is released, but Bart, Lisa, and the other kids across Springfield reject it. A montage then follows showing the children engaging in wholesome outdoor activities. Marge is finally pleased, but members of the group urge her to protest against Michelangelo's David. Marge initially agrees, but ultimately realizes that it's hypocritical to protest censorship in one form of art but not another. She gives up her anti-cartoon violence protest, and Itchy and Scratchy returns to its original form. Finally, from season 7, we have scenes from the class struggle in Springfield. In this episode, Grandpa breaks the family's television while trying to fix it. This leads the family to take a trip to the Ogdenville Outlet Mall, where Marge and Lisa wander off to a discounted store. Marge finds a beautiful Chanel suit that has been marked down from $2,800 to $90. At first, she is hesitant to buy it, but Lisa convinces her that it's a great deal. Marge becomes infatuated with the suit and wears it constantly, begging Homer to take her somewhere fancy. One day, while wearing the suit to the Quickie Mart, Marge runs into an old classmate, Evelyn Peters. Evelyn is impressed by Marge's fashion sense and invites her to the Springfield Country Club, which is a club full of rich snobs. The rest of the family initially feels out of place at the country club, but they eventually find their own ways to enjoy themselves. Homer discovers a talent for golf, much to everyone's surprise, but I'll leave the details of his venture for you to discover by watching the episode yourself. Back at the club, Marge is offended by a snobby member's comment and becomes determined to alter her suit and impress members at the country club. However, she accidentally destroys the suit on the sewing machine while Lisa annoyingly asks questions. Marge rushes back to the Ogdenville Outlet Mall but is unable to find a suitable replacement for the upcoming Springfield Country Ball. Desperate to fit in, she ultimately decides to purchase an expensive dress at the actual Chanel store. When Marge and the rest of the Simpsons arrive at the party, she criticizes her family's behavior, including Maggie's. However, Marge realizes that she has changed for the worse and decides to leave the party, and instead they go to Krusty Burger, where she's much more comfortable. Overall, this episode uses humor and heart to mock the pitfalls of materialism and highlight the importance of family. If you want to see free classic Homer Simpson videos, then click this video right here.